Is it hard or just me? 'Cause I am struggling to breathe when I start saying your name. It's time to light up the flames with all these spirits around. I can't tell my up from my down. Don't break my ritual practice, 'cause this shit's causing mad. They say the devil, you know, is easier to control. Come on, why can't I just sit? You're coaxing me to submit. Don't get lost in those starry eyes, in those starry eyes. It will become my demise. Can't I prioritize? Lost in those starry eyes.
All right. Welcome to episode 5 of Harbor City Local TV. Today with us we have Derek Gores, local artist and producer of the Dreamland Mini-Golf experience in the Eau Gallie Arts District. And also with us is Director of Operations of Dreamland, Rachel. And Geidel, is that right?
Yes.
Excellent.
Very good.
And then Steve with Toxic Roots, and also local artist that has been helping and doing a lot over at Dreamland. So welcome everybody.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Steve.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all being here. We just heard a track from Somber Mercy off of Harbor City Local Volume 3. She just played over at Dreamland not too long ago. She's a very visual, interesting character, and she's an important part of what we do here in Brevard. So shout out to Somber Mercy. So Derek, how's Dreamland going?
It's great, man. It's we have 3 months total to work with, which is a new experience for us.
Mm-hmm.
We're used to doing kind of, one weekend, one night art shows sometimes, so this is super cool. We're loving it. People are thrilled, whether, the first couple rounds of folks coming in were kind of art crowd people
Mm-hmm.
who know what I do all the time. But we've absolutely crossed over into the every person and even some tourists and stuff who maybe they see the mini golf hashtag and wind up at our doors. So people are digging it.
Nice. And it does have the duality of being kind of an art project, but it's very interactive. I'm glad that we got to be a part of it also with the music. How did this come to, where did this come from? I mean, hey, I want to do mini golf,
Sure. Well, let's see. Part of it is just the opportunity of the space. The Fusner closed, long tail there, but now we have a new opportunity where there's going to be a hotel there. And in that interim, while we wait for Larry Jarnes to get his permits and bulldozers lined up, all that, he reached out. And I've gotten to know him, and he's saying what could happen for the arts community in this time. And first I did not raise my hand, but then eventually I thought about how we could arrange a group of people to pull something off, and I told Larry, here's something we could do. I saw mini golf has been done by odd groups of people in many places. I saw a variation of this in London, actually, that was in just an empty storefront, a single empty small storefront. And I thought, I'm always looking for things that bring in as many people as possible in terms of just the collaborators. In order to do this, we needed a lot of people because we pulled it off. I think we daydreamed behind the scenes for maybe 3 weeks concentrated, and then the installation was less than 3 weeks. We kept it simple. We purposely gave ourselves the time constraint and the shoestring budget constraint of that produced this kind of creativity. It's like 90% recycled materials. A lot of Facebook posts about, hey, who's got box springs and Christmas trees and weird objects that I knew we could become the raw materials, even though at that time we kind of reverse engineer it. We waited to see what materials we could get, and then we figure out what the place would look like, which I thoroughly enjoy that process.
And that's, when you say that sounds smart to me. I mean, that's, to someone that's looking at it going, man, how did they accomplish all this? And you're like, well, we got the material, and then we decided how to accomplish it. That's an art brain that I don't really have, I guess.
Same.
But you're right, the turnaround, I know we kind of connected early on it, and you said we're going to open in 3 weeks, and I looked around going, what?
Yeah.
You're going to open in 3 weeks?
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did it. But the great thing also I noticed when I go there, stop through, is if you went those first couple weeks, go back because it's always updating. It's a very interactive situation. And I'm loving that. I'm loving that we got to kind of participate in that. Are people still trying to, oh, you guys are doing this, how do I participate?
Yes. Well, usually what form it takes is somebody says, "Oh, I wish I had known," and then I'm like, "Oh, really? Well, what do you got? 'Cause
Yeah.
maybe we can sneak it in." And then
Right.
sometimes they reply, sometimes they don't.
Mm-hmm.
But when we do these art projects, whether it's Robot Love or really anything, part of the whole purpose is to stir up the art scene here, the creative scene in every definition. So we're always looking for people who have maybe a hobby or this weird skill that they have or this contraption in the garage. Ears are always perked for those things that could layer in and combine with what, with who our regulars are.
Right.
So the cast of characters is always changing. But yeah, we were just there last night. A typical night, I see Steve pull up in his truck, and he's got something in the back that's going to be added to it, and we don't know what it is till the end. And that's one of the neat things about this format. We have 3 months to kind of let it percolate a little bit, let it change by the designers, by the public, by the music, and yeah, just first thank you on air for you. We always like having the mixture of the art forms. I know the visual side, but we need all the senses playing. So thank you to you for helping us with bringing in the sound for the Friday nights and Saturday nights, and that's essential and electrifies the air and makes the vibe in which people are going to love it.
You're very welcome. I'm glad to have been a part of it. I mean, we've seen each other around, but we've never actually got to work together. So making that connection and getting to know each other has been, a treat for me, in all honesty.
Same, buddy, same. I love that you clearly you love music and you want to hear the next music. So you're making sure that these kids can make the next music, and that's huge. So we click on that. We want to support your next thing and help those kids make the next music.
And we're going to get into your program this summer, too, real soon.
Great.
We'll keep on Dreamland here for a second.
Yeah.
Because you're doing the same thing, just through art. Now, speaking of the music and what's going on in there, how has the crowd, as you're walking through, has it been like, oh, there's, this music is too much, or are they enjoying it? Are they, is it a part of that interactive piece that they're like, this is interesting? And
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It's a good moment to bring in Rachel. I think.
Yeah.
Rachel came from the academic world, working at the local college. I think she would agree with me that she's loving seeing all the completely unique humans that we have here on the Space Coast, who have collaborated on this project, and the individuals who walk in the door and the smile on their face as they respond to different mini golf holes.
Right.
So yeah, Rachel, how has that looked, through your eyeballs as you witnessed this thing?
Well, being new to the art scene, especially that, I don't have any kind of artistic background whatsoever, it's been really rewarding, to collaborate with different people, and very welcoming as well. I've been lucky enough to work with Derek and Steve and a lot of other people in the community that have helped me to learn some of the things that I've never dabbled in before. So that's been exciting. But I'm also excited to bring my expertise to Dreamland, and also to Derek's other ventures. Like we were saying, I like spreadsheets and stuff like that. So I bring a different part to it, but it's been a lot of fun collaborating and seeing all the different people come in and making it come together. It is pretty dreamy.
So Rachel's just been with me a handful of months. 6 months, right?
6 months.
6 months. She said that, her passion is helping projects happen, helping people connect and love their community. And that's what she's brought to me.
Nice.
We've done some small scale things like this, but in order to take on this kind of an operation, we needed somebody who doesn't just get lost in the art, but gets lost in the spreadsheets, and making sure we staff this thing. You know, we've got, you know, greeters at the door, and she's got a whole schedule for it, and, you know, interviews and all the stuff behind the scenes of any worthy project. And
Right.
she brings that. But yeah, if you can't see, she's wearing an I Hate Mini-Golf shirt. She hates the mini-golf, but she loves the people behind the scenes.
Well, that one of our first meetings, I just kind of blurted out, "I hate mini golf."
Right, yeah.
So Derek had to make me a shirt, which I wear proud.
Awesome. And you bring up a good point. Something that I'm actually just getting used to is people believing in your dream, people wanting to be a part of what you're doing, and people that don't. So in our world, we have people that don't play music or don't do art or these things, but they want to participate in those types of situations. So Harbor City Local gives them an opportunity to participate in the music community, even though they don't play an instrument or play in a band, but it might inspire them to. So I understand what you're saying. That's kind of how I got into it myself. I used to be a chef and spent a ton of time in kitchens, and then went into education, and now I teach algebra. But
I know it. Yeah.
Wow.
and
rocks the blackest clothes in town.
and blackest clothes in town. Yeah. You know, so I kind of worked my way into it and faked it till I made it, and now this is where it's at. So you know, it's getting involved is first step, and that's amazing. And you have some young involvement. You brought up some of your workers there. They're every time I go there, they're so happy and having fun. And how did you get the word out to, you know, get people to staff Dreamland?
You know, I was thinking about that today because one of our thanks, Steve. One of our collaborators and artists, Sarah Peck, has just been such a great help to me. And I was thinking about how lucky I was to get such a great staff to start with. It was a little easier than normally it is to staff because so many people wanted to be a part of it.
Right.
And they are all so different, but we're working together and it's working out. So, you know, you've got the normal things, you know, people out sick, things like that. But other than that, it's just everybody's been great.
Yeah.
Texting you at 11:30 at night.
That was your daughter.
I know.
That was.
Yeah.
You know, kind of to answer your question more directly there, Steve, though, we, you know, how do we get the word out? We've got a network of whether it's the actual artists or the family layers, you know, some of the siblings or kids of some of the artists. I mean, my two older daughters are working the show, having sibling fisticuffs in the middle of the public floor sometimes. But anyway, no, it's kind of all the layers. Plus, we get sponsors who believe in this, and I totally agree with you. There are people who directly get the art, but then there are those who know the valuable energy. To me, we do these projects. You know, art is for the individual who made it, as well as for the individual with the eyeballs or ears on the other side of that. But it's also art. Is a language that crosses divisions. You know, it speaks things that words cannot. So we create an environment where we can really honor and learn about ourselves and our whole community. So it's a rich, tactile kind of a thing. I also realized recently that mini golf, even just the standard version of it, is STEAM. It's like the original STEAM stuff. You know, STEM, STEAM. It's got the math and the science and the art of it already involved. When you pick up that goofy club, you can't help but think of, you know, geometry and physics of trying to figure out where this ball is going to go, and then you layer into it the weirdness. We have, you know, there's a teeth chipping hole where our artists found the perfect fabric to simulate the texture of a tongue. If you haven't been yet, you have that to look forward to. You know, there's one that's all about looks like giant pieces of chewing gum. I mean, it's a good weird. Weird is one of my favorite words. So as the kids come out, I always ask them with a big smile on my face, you know, what was the weirdest hole that you saw? And what I really mean is, what was the best hole? And I love that I think through us, they they learn to they know that we are all into the bizarre. So if we can show them some bizarre, then
Well, and
we've
that's
done it well.
that's what's a bit genius about the event. Everyone loves playing pool, throwing darts. This is something everyone can do. So it's not above anyone's fun and talent level.
Sure.
Go bowling. Everyone can do these things. So getting people out and into the community is a great thing, along with the artists. Now, there's more than just mini golf. What else do you guys have in this building?
Well, we have a selfie museum at the same time. So, and that's certainly been done before, but not our way. People are taking their photos more than ever these days, taking their own, and so we have these spaces where you can take a bizarre photo of yourself. Some are elegant, classy, throwback, but some are out there and surreal. And people are loving them, and that's something that we change up. I think we've already changed out 2 of the selfie walls, and more to come. And most of those were either designed by individual artists or group effort. Some of them we had these art ideas, and we brought in some props and made some new walls out of them.
Nice.
You mind if I get the other Steve on the mic a little bit here?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So I mentioned, in order for this thing to happen, we really needed a team, or it wouldn't have gone off the ground at all. We needed the mini golf hater, spreadsheet lover, but we also needed somebody with serious carpentry and physical 3-dimensional skills. My skills are limited to 2-dimensional. So Steve Monroe, Budapotamus, Toxic Roots brings in a whole other dimension that I don't contain. But if I could ask you first, Steve, can you tell us about your roots of loving this genre of mini golf and the history of it?
I don't know. I think it started out when I was young, but I've always really enjoyed really kitschy kind of roadside attractions. I did traveling with my parents and stuff like that, and I was always on the lookout for that oddball kind of thing. And any kind of cartoon characters, cartoony kind of thing, anything excessively large. We travel a lot with my wife and kids now, and they get irritated with me sometimes because I'm stopping every mile to get up, and they're like, "Dad, do we have to get out and take another picture?" So mini golf has definitely always been on my bucket list.
Yeah. Is the answer always yes? Yes, we have to get out and take it.
Yeah, they just know. They don't have a choice.
Well, and Steve definitely brought the DIY spirit.
Yeah.
I knew that we could, if we were going to pull this thing off, and it had to be pretty bold and also super cheap. First stop for me was Steve's backyard. We had a meeting over on a rusty picnic table in his backyard, and I was looking around like, Steve, okay, what do you have back here that could be in the show? What was? And there's a bunch of stuff we still didn't use. What do you have back there that we could have used?
I one time I had several pieces from the old McDonald's playground. I had the Big Mac on a stick and everything in the backyard. The ones that kids broke their neck on and everything.
Nice.
But I've toned it down a lot. But pretty much, our life exists off the side of the road or a thrift shop. So
nice.
That's kind of so making something out of junk is really my daily life.
What's one of the weirder, cheaper B-roll, C-roll, D-roll items that you have in your house that you collected and only you care about?
Well, that would probably be one of about 2,000 items. No, I think most of the things are just oddball little characters that I've from the 60s or early 70s that I've picked up, and nobody else. As soon as I die, they're going to be chucked out the door. But
one thing I saw that Steve has, I didn't know this kind of thing existed, but I guess when you would go into a diner back in the day, and you're sitting at a little booth, there's a there's like this little rotating ad thing that it scrolls through the different sponsors for that diner, and I had not seen this thing.
Yeah, it was they're called action ad clocks, and it's a neon neon, framed in neon, and it's got a clock on one side and the other side has rotating ads. And I grew up with these going to my grandparents' house. They were in all the local areas, and then I actually had the opportunity to buy that business out, like 40 years later. So so I bought them all and sold them all, and I kept buying them and reselling them. And
Cool.
Yeah, every time I go to Dreamland, you're there. It's like you're home away from home, I guess. How many of the holes there are yours?
I made 4 of them.
4 of them.
Well, 4 of them are attributed to me.
Gotcha.
My wife was a big part of this too. So she's a big part of everything that I've done. So
Right. And Derek brought up 2 companies that you're basically front.
well, Budapotamus, I was just a name that my company itself is Budapotamus Productions.
Okay.
And so then I started Toxic Roots, so I just say I'm Budapotamus from Toxic Roots.
Gotcha. Where did Toxic Roots come from?
Toxic Roots came from living on top of an old dump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we actually are trashy kind of people.
Yeah, his backyard there
Yeah.
in North Satellite Beach. You can dig and find stuff.
You don't
right?
have to dig. When it rains, the stuff just floats to the surface.
Wow.
When a heavy rain, we'll just go around and we'll pick up all the glass and metal that floats to the surface.
Wow.
And
Wow. Yeah, when someone was telling me about that story, I was, it's weird to think the imagery you're bringing to it, because it seems like kind of a sad story, but the imagery and everything that you're putting out there is amazing. I mean, it's fun, and it's taking a situation that most people would see negatively and making something out of it. Getting awareness a bit, but at the same time art out of it.
correct. Yeah, there's too much fighting about it, so let's just have a little fun with it, and we can't do anything about it.
Yeah. And you're hitting up some pop-ups now, and
I am, yeah. I'm just amazed that people will buy my stuff and my wife's stuff. So thank you for everybody. But
yeah, you were at the Space Swap event last week.
we were, yes.
What'd you think of that?
That was a pretty cool idea. That's again, when I first heard about it, I was like, well, this is my life. This is, all of we purposely buy high quality stuff if we have to buy it new, and then we wear it out and either that or repair it. And
Right.
And I just cut the tops of my socks off the other day. So now if I took my socks from crew top socks down to sneaker socks, and
Yeah, there's.
Can we get this guy some socks?
I know, absolutely. We need a GoFundMe on socks.
Yeah.
There's a video of Steve fixing his hose with duct tape.
Nice.
He makes do.
He makes do.
Yeah.
yeah. So here's the way that I've been with Derek for. We started working together at the last Robot Love, and so the way it kind of works is Derek will approach me with an idea, and I say okay, and then I spend the next 2 or 3 nights not sleeping, thinking about how we're going to do it, and then he'll come back to me and he'll say, oh, we need it done in like 2 days.
Nice. Yep.
And then it happens. So.
And then it happens. Yeah.
So when we first heard about this, my wife and I, we hooked up the trailer on the truck and head up to Cocoa Beach to find what we could find on the side of the road, and that's where a lot of the stuff came from. Was
Well, and I think when I said the words mini golf, Steve, at the end of that little meeting, quiet meeting of possibilities, Steve got as close to my face as he's ever been to say, I love this idea. I am all in. I was like, wow. He's like, I might just volunteer. I'm like, hold on, come on now. There's some budget in here for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been excited from the very start. Yeah, he's, making a Easter Island Moai head was apparently on his bucket list. Who else has that on their bucket list?
I was actually just to bring that up because that is one of the best images, even for through marketing for the whole thing. Is that?
Well, that, and I have to throw in you put the background of Sarah Peck's spider hole. That's just that's an amazing shot.
Right. Yeah.
It truly is.
Yeah, and my contribution to this really is kind of seeing the moments of how the pieces play together, seeing potential for collaboration. There are a couple cool, real collaborative pieces. I mean, in fact, one of the best pieces from Robot Love was our most collaborative that Steve and his family helped with, along with Muntazer and Olive Rowe and might be the list. But that the collaboration is where we spark. People really learn new languages from each other. But Steve. I knew, of course, we have to have a couple of epic size pieces.
Right.
They can't all be made out of a stack of books. That's one cool hole. But no, we need some truly impressive craftsmanship. To contrast with the low tech.
Right.
That's what I enjoy playing with is the possibilities, and throwing bait out there and having some invitations for people to do their best stuff, and then like looking for those sight lines of what people are going to experience in this certain order. So yeah, that Easter Island head with Serapex, gorgeous, spray painted, atmospheric spider web is just a key moment for sure.
And it's all in a blacklight room.
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
right.
I mean, that's all pretty interesting.
So and Steve was the infrastructure. Like before we could even press go, like that we could do this, we had to be like, well, first I had to say it to Larry Jarnes. Okay, Larry, I have one question for you. Can we drill into the museum floor to have these mini golf holes? Because we were not going to put up with like a fake hole.
Yeah.
No, that couldn't happen. But the real questions were to Steve, like, okay, how can we do this cheap? So his job was to figure out how many holes we could fit. We came up with like an average size just to get us started. And Steve says a couple times a day, we're artists, not engineers. Kind of disclaimer to the folks, especially to the golfers who come in and they're ready to putt seriously. We're like, all right, hold on. Like, this is art. This is art, guys.
So, some of the holes can be very challenging.
Yeah.
Catbox hole. But anyway, I needed Steve to process and have enough confidence that we could help all these non-artists, or non-carpenters, non-three-dimensional people like me, to make sure that enough of the infrastructure physically would be there, and he made that happen with a little bit of 2x4 money and a lot of recycled stuff, and one long day drilling holes into the ground, and we had enough of it to work.
So we had our green room and staging area and stuff for the music festival in there. Jarnes let us use it, and you sign kind of a contract, and you put down a deposit and all these things. And so when we got done with the festival, I'm in there the next day, and I'm mopping and all these things, and just making sure that it's better than where. That's what you're supposed to do, right? You return it better than when you got it. And when I came in and saw you guys were drilling holes in the floor, I'm like, what the hell was I doing? Like, it was pretty funny to me, but I'm glad it worked out. Yeah.
I looked at Larry, I'm like, the hotel's definitely happening, right? This is definitely happening. You don't really. Yeah. He's like, he's like, man, you guys do it. If we have to fill him in, we'll figure that out on the other end. I'm like, all right, okay.
All right. No, that's great. That's great. Now, touch base on the Selfie Museum, and they're kind of underselling it, by the way. It's pretty great. If you check out their social medias, you'll see some really interesting pictures that kind of put you in a completely different place when you look at the picture. And like the one of the popular ones is the one in the corner with the
looks like a cartoon world.
Yeah.
Noah Cook.
Yeah,
you guys are probably been hearing his name around a lot. He's fresh out of Flagler College. I first got to know him when he would hang art and lights for me in a couple galleries ago, as a teenager. But he still has the same big smile on his face, and just the nicest kid. And anyway, he's been doing murals. He did I don't know, 3 of the real eye catchers in the show, including that corner piece.
Yep.
Everything's painted white, and he outlines everything in black with just fast spray paint. There's this chair to sit in. But anyway, you're right. When you photograph it, it's weird what happens. It looks like you're in a cartoon. Yeah. And everybody, it's just a simple like living room with a TV, an old school TV, and people manage to find their own fresh take on that scene. And I think Noah is adding a couple props that people can play with.
Awesome.
One of them might be a guitar, and so he's excited to add some stuff.
And then the dumpster fire is always pretty popular too.
Yeah, that one,
I broke that last week.
So that piece, for the most part, we tried not to repeat any stuff that we have, but that one is just worthy. Clifton Chandler made that piece. We have to keep reminding ourselves that it's not a real dumpster. He just observed the geometry of a dumpster.
Are you serious?
Oh, it's not real. It's made just out of plywood.
You wouldn't believe how many people actually think it's real.
Yeah.
Well,
you just kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, but it's typical Cliff in that he observed the geometry. Apparently city people from the last several decades have learned how simply to make a dumpster and for the job that it has. But his is only made out of plywood and not very long wood screws. So he made that for Robot Love, a year and a half ago. Perfect symbol coming out of COVID. It looks like it's on fire, but it's part of a lot of our art is it transports you for a moment, but then you notice instantly how simply it's made. It's just you get up close to that thing and it's fans and silk and light. And anybody could try that trick at home. It's inspiring, but that was one piece that was worth bringing back to Dreamland. Partly because we took it to Miami last December for Art Basel, and it was a hit of the custodial staff all the way to the producers and sponsors of the show. I don't think any other piece of art crossed all the layers of classes beyond that one. And while it was in Miami, it got tagged a couple thousand times by stickers and markers and paint. So it is world traveled, and it's an amazing photo op.
That's great. Yeah.
Clifton Chandler.
Awesome. So now beyond that, you also have a sensory room, right?
Yeah, that one, Joshua Rogers of Illuminated Paths, just another one of our folks who he brings a passion for analog video and audio. He's not impressed by all the slick 5K, whatever, all the high def. He likes the tactile feel. It's so interesting that, back in the day, like, how do we get rid of tape hiss? He wants all the tape hiss.
Right.
And that it's interesting now to think that the little speckle of static on a visual, it shows you that it has touch, that it was tape moving through a machine. It's so interesting that it adds an air and a sensory element that perfectly clean digital does not.
Right.
So anyway, he's this gentle guy, super passionate about all these things, and I try to rope him in on anything I can get him for. But he's in high demand. Every week he borrows his own equipment to take it to a road trip to Jacksonville, where the venue changed at the last minute. We're all doing our hustle with our passion, but he lets us borrow the equipment for our days, and it's another one that's really open. Like it's hard to describe. It's hard to say what it is you're looking at, but because of that, you experience it, and it's like fireflies, and little girls do their own impromptu dance parties in there, and it's that cool.
And anyone can go in there and have an experience.
Yeah.
But one of the things, a friend of mine, Rachel Gray, she is autistic, and she went in there and said that it just leveled her out. And that was something I was not expecting. It was, again, inspirational, and just, here's a room with just a bunch of nonsense going on, to most people, but it's not nonsense to her.
That's awesome.
And it just made me kind of view what was going on there in a completely different way, and respect it in a different way.
That is cool. I enjoy, what my novice brain calls like a white noise aspect. Some of my best ideas come, while driving, or even taking out the trash, or certain kinds of noises or sensory elements. So I can kind of relate to when one variable is at a distraction level, it makes your brain go other places. I'm looking for that. Even the collaboration aspect is throwing charges of other information that make your own brain go somewhere else in a useful way.
Awesome. Now, even if you're not a mini golfer, if you don't want to take a selfie, I would still go and check out the gift shop. For a few reasons. Number one, you need some jewelry or just some cool stuff. Don't go to the mall, go to Dreamland. Get what you need. But it's all local stuff, right? I mean, it's all semi-local at least.
Sure. Yeah. It's all local.
Yeah.
It's stuff from our collaborators. Toxic Roots has primo real estate there right inside the door. On the opposite wall, Roman's Artifacts. Two. When people say, "How did you guys get 36 holes of golf in there?" 2 courses of 18 holes of mini golf. Well, 2 of them are mini golf, miniature golf, 3D printed by Roman's Artifacts, and they have. In fact, their merch area is bigger than their holes. They've got, a couple hundred items, 3D printed, cool designed pieces, locally inspired, and some of them very interactive and super cool. But yes, also artwork, prints, jewelry. Cody Howard made one of our really coolest, for those of you who don't know, the first hole is always the same. It's very ordinary, very green AstroTurf, like you might expect. But at the second hole is when things get weird, and you have to choose your course. You go either into the light or into the night, where we start playing with the idea of dreams and dreamland and all the meanings. Well, Cody did this beautiful hole. If you go into the light, and she works in fiber art, and she made this gorgeous space using just yarn, hot glue, cardboard, and other fibrous elements. So that hole is terrific, but also the hanging pieces that are in the pro shop there by Cody.
Nice.
Yeah. We corrected the name. It really should be the pro shop. So got out a little duct tape, Sharpie marker, and it's now the pro shop.
Excellent.
I don't think we have any golf related like shirts or gloves or socks or.
Yeah,
we have golf balls and koozies.
You have golf towels.
Golf towels.
Oh
there you
yeah,
go.
those tiny golf towels.
Yeah.
We have some of those.
socks are on the list though, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm always on the lookout for new socks.
Apparently that was Steve's call, his painful call for some golf socks.
Nice. And I mean, you guys are still adding on the outside. I saw you guys put a big mural on the side.
That's
so
right.
if
Noah Cook did that.
If you don't know where the Fusner is, just drive through the All Galley Arts District and look for this giant Dreamland mural on the side of the biggest building in the area.
Yeah, 1463 Highland.
Yeah.
We are indoors, so rainy days we get extra popular because it's 72 degrees and sunny inside Dreamland.
Fun for everyone, but really a good time to take the kids, give them something to do. We used to go vacation in Wisconsin. I'm from Northern Illinois, and my dad's favorite place to go was this bar where he could sit at the bar, and we would play mini golf right out in the front. And it was just this little nothing mini golf place, but he loved it because he could just sit there and
we pretty much offer that.
yeah,
We got that.
We offer that.
Yeah, we got that.
exactly. So now you do have some stuff coming up. What are some of the events?
Sure. So we are looking forward to, and this is not, a full list, but some of the more popular events coming up on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. That'll be Thursday, so we'll have a specialty drink and some sort of promotion at the door. Sunday, May 8th is Mother's Day, so moms get in for free and get a free drink at our bar, our Dreamland bar. Saturday, May 21st, we'll be doing a collaboration with the City of Melbourne in the park there for a food truck event.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, we're calling that Golf and Grub, right?
Golf and Grub, I think we decided, Golf and Grub,
The other idea was Whole Foods with an H.
Isn't that good?
That's great.
But that didn't get past legal.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And then we also have one I'm really looking forward to is Saturday, June 4th. We're going to put together a Meet the Artist event.
That's cool.
And collaborating with Intercoastal. So Steve gets to make another golf hole. And Sarah. And Sarah we'll be making another golf hole that will be placed at Intracoastal. Hopefully.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll be about 2 weeks before the event starts to kind of get the hype up a little bit.
I always thought that third lot next to Intracoastal should be a family zone or something. Should be a mini golf. Again, going just back to my dad getting drunk watching us.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we also, so we'll be adding more events on our Facebook page. We do have a Facebook page and an Instagram account. But also we offer, events. So if anybody is looking to do an event at Dreamland, you can go on our website and just submit the form. That'll come to me and we can reach out. But we've got birthday parties, graduation parties, corporate events, customer appreciation events. I actually just booked 2 field trips, so for some summer camps. So, we're really excited to be utilizing the space, and people are excited to come to us. So we give the people what they want.
Yeah, I think mini golf and art take you back to that childlike place, where it just makes for great conversation. So people have fun. You kind of razz each other. You try trick shots. How come that ball didn't go in? It's hanging on the corner. If I stomp the ground, is it going to fall in? All these things. It just makes for good fun with a group, whether it's your family or team building. We've got a number of local professionals who are, even 321 Millennials came in last week and they did a thing. It's fun how it lets you bond. I mean, honestly, it lets you connect with people in a way, just because of the silliness and the kind of child humor aspect of it.
Right.
Even if you don't like mini golf.
Look at that. You guys see how right here on this show she's letting us know
I love it.
she hates it less than she used to hate it.
I do, actually, I do. It's because I'm good at
You
it.
got to put June 11th on there for Punk in the Park, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
June 11th, Punk in the Park.
Yeah, boy, what's that going to look like? Can we get some punk on the stage? What's that going to look like for us?
Inside? I'm sure we could figure that out. No, we could definitely figure that out.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I feel like all the photos of Punk in the Park need to be black and white with some red enhancement or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want to help with that.
Okay.
Now, Dreamland's right now, but I mean, you've been around here doing stuff for a long time. Some people that might not know Derek Gores, I don't know where you've been, but some people might not. And how many of those Robot Love events have you done?
Robot Love we've done 5 times. The first one back in 2009, then 2010, then 2015, 2017, 2021. So that's an example of our most collaborative visual art plus visual art mashup with music, etc.
And that's one of those events that you said is kind of more like a weekend type thing.
Yeah, I think 3 of them were one weekend shows. One was a 1 week show, and then the most recent one we did it was just about the last official event at the Fusner, and that one was 6 weeks.
Yeah,
and we learned different things. They've got a legend to them. The robots put on a pretty good show for the humans, so they can extract the love out of the humans, so they can be powered for the.
We got to play the opening.
That's right.
In the band shell, so that was nice. Any perhaps another one coming in the future, or is that just kind of when the itch comes up?
We always say we do that one as needed.
Yeah.
I don't picture it for 2022. Rachel wouldn't. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait for me to
the spreadsheet ends. Apparently, spreadsheets have ends. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no more tabs allowed. But it'll happen again. But what we have next that we've just kicked off is summer camp for the kids. Create Your World Summer Camp. So we've high five, guys. We got the spreadsheets and the registration forms up for a 7-week art camp for kids in the spirit of what they used to do at the Fusner.
Yeah.
Great people who made that happen and were very kind to us. This is our 2nd year doing it, but they shared with us what was special and the methodology behind what worked for the Fusner, and I wanted to carry on that spirit for the Arts District. And also we've added our radically inclusive approach as well, in just a variety of teachers and artists and projects, guest artists and everything.
Right.
Actually, we didn't get Steve. We didn't get Steve in it on last year. All right, we're going to need some stuff. And we need it in 2 days, Steve.
Yeah.
I'll be out of state.
Oh, nice. All right, we'll Skype you
I'm
in.
sick that day.
Yeah. And you just put out an ad today for anyone that wants to teach, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's got all the layers of what we need. We posted the 7 weeks and their 7 themes and kind of a media focus for each of those. Our vibe, it's called Create Your World, and my the where that name came from is it occurred to me. I don't know where. Having kids, you notice things as they learn and as they experience art. But anyway, I'm aware that at a young age, everybody's an artist. Under 10 years old, who here likes to dance, sing, run, play? Every kid. So somehow that gets squished out after age 10, and then especially into adulthood. So
Right.
So a passion for me is inviting people back into art, or keeping it more open at the younger ages, so that more people hold on to it
Right.
and realize there are so many people, so many ways to make art. Sometimes I think of it, I like people to look at their own hands and be like, what can these hands make? What do your hands make that no other hands in the room can make? And that kind of idea. Where was I going? I don't know. We got a great 7-week camp that is Create Your World, because this is what I was going to say. When kids can create their world on a humble blank piece of paper, then they can take the leap to improve their own world out here in the real world.
And as a high school teacher, at some point for me, my biggest struggle is when students lose the idea of owning their own education. When it's turned over to the powers that be, basically, and the standardized ways of doing things, and building up the idea of ownership, because that's what you're talking about, bringing it to their own world, is a very important lesson in education. Now, where are you doing this at?
We're holding it at the Highland Avenue Fellowship, just down the street, 1519. I'm totally guessing on the address, but a few next block.
The other giant building.
The other giant building.
Yeah.
Basically, if there's a giant building, we're trying to mess it up with some art.
Yeah.
Next day.
You're right. It's inside Highland Avenue Fellowship. They've got this, to my eyes, beautiful old building with these great old traditional classrooms. So we take those over for summer camp. They used to have school there back, a few decades ago, but we use it for summer camp. I really love what you just said, Steve, about owning your own. Not what you said. Steve and Steve, HCL Steve. Owning your own education. To me, part of that is making sure that kids hear from a variety of voices.
100%.
I can remember, and I think this is a timely topic. We don't need we don't want to have every aspect that passes through a child's brain to be exactly the same voice. Absolutely not. When I look back on my education, I think of the quirky Mr. Blanchard, who was, I think, my either U.S. history or world history teacher. Like, wow, what a character, what a joker. He looked like Dirty Harry, but he had this funny sense of humor. Like, I'm glad I had that guy teaching me that topic with his slant. And then I had a different slant the next year.
Right.
You need that variety so that each of us can find our own slant. If there's no slant to anything, we all become the robots, and not in a good way.
And not in a good way. And when does that start?
Summer camp, let's see, something like June, early June.
7th.
June 7th.
Yeah, so it's 7 weeks long. We take a break off for 4th of July week, but 7 weeks of awesome camp. There's some, right.
Okay.
Rachel specifically gets the week
I
off.
just wanna make sure.
It was for you. It was designed for you. Yeah.
But you can work remotely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did a great job last year. It's going to be even better this time. But yeah, we have you can camp for all day or half days, morning or afternoon. We've added in a camp enrichment for after camp. So for those parents who can't get there at 4 p.m. to pick up their young artist, then now we have an enrichment aspect to hopefully make it easier for more kids. and we're going to have some scholarships, you know, so that all worthy kids who want to take this art camp hopefully can do that. So we haven't gotten that out yet, but we will hopefully next week. Recommendations for scholarships, as well as opportunity to sponsor scholarships. We had a number of those last year, and that was really special. People who, even some friends who don't have kids who are going to camp anymore, but they wanted some other kids to be able to go to art camp. Just magical stuff, the way this community keeps the energy flowing. Pay it forward.
So we have a music scholarship coming out that we need to be pushing more, working with Wickenboro Music. But I had a meeting not too long ago with Ready for Life. Have you heard of Ready for Life? They basically help kids that are transitioning out of foster care find houses, because they have no family, so a lot of them end up just immediately homeless. But those types of kids and younger, you know, they've lost everything. They have nothing. So we're trying to help get to those younger kids to maybe help them get a musical interest. I think it could be an opportunity to maybe help some of those kids get an artistic interest.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll reach out to them and see what we can do, because we'll support that too.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure, and let's layer them in with Dreamland too. Whatever way is, you know, most potent and inspiring and healing. Let's definitely follow up on that.
Excellent. We had To Write Love on Our Arms here last time, and they're doing a Between the Bells type program where I need to reach out to them again. But a lot of social interaction happens between school bells, and negative things can happen there. So we're trying to work with them on a program for that. So anyone that's interested in helping kids, I like to keep them in the loop of, you know, where we're moving here, to try to at least network that out. Just making some notes as they come to my head.
No, we definitely want to be a part of it, so thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, just a little story indirectly. You are really a big part of why HCL, and especially the music festival, exists. And you might not know that.
I didn't, but do tell. Is
So-
there a song about it?
So I'm at the Robot Love at the Adventure HQ.
Right. So that would be 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm standing in a circle with Beebs and Rob from Traditionals
Yeah.
and Cold Side, and I think Ryan Spear. And we had just got done playing the DeLand Original Music Festival with my band. And, you know, everyone's there as a musician. And talking just about how great the day is and how there's all these artists and local musicians, and it's just a great day. And how we need to have more of a original music festival, an original situation. And, you know, we were already doing compilations and trying to promote local music. So that's how we got connected with EGAD a bit, and because all the friends down there were opening businesses, so I connected with all them, and that's how the Space Coast Music Festival actually came to EGAD, was standing in a circle at Robot Love and just kind of networking the idea of, can we do an original music festival? You know, no covers, no anything, just all original was spawned at Robot Love.
That's beautiful. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, and because we need an epicenter. I mean, I love the art anywhere, but an epicenter helps. I mean, that's just smart business strategy. There's a reason all the car dealerships are next to each other.
Yeah.
We need all the art forms next to each other. It's been amazing what the assorted creatives have been able to do to this point, you know, making art on their own dining room table at home or whatever in a dark corner. But we need more places where the art is being made and played and circulated and everybody bouncing off of each other. That's when it, you know, has more exponential power. So very happy that the music festival exists. And I think I can predict with serious confidence that well, you have a date for the next music festival,
November
right?
5th. Yeah.
November 5th. I can go on record here as saying that we intend to have a mural festival that has its celebration day on that day, so
Excellent.
that we can seriously mingle all the senses and
Right.
have the new walls and the new sounds all happening on that magical day.
Excellent. That's going to be fun. Now, the Any other projects for the future? Anyone?
See, I know Rachel has to go get some groceries. She tells me that every other day.
I haven't. I do, and I haven't gone grocery shopping.
Any projects for Charlie Brown, your doggy?
Chuck.
Live.
Toxic Roots, anything coming up?
Toxic Roots always have stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to, if I should have released it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, about 6, 7 new designs, but they're all sitting on my several couches throughout the house right now. So I just got to have time to print them. And then I've got some other stuff in the works too. I've got some skateboard collabs going on and
That'll be great.
everything. So,
Well, with the Punk in the Park coming, I mean, that's a skate thing. We're going to have half pipe and BMX stuff and that whole X Games feel. I mean, that's coming up quick. You can have those skateboards ready?
I finished one yesterday for my son. So.
Wow.
But
Wow.
I saw it in action. It looks right. It looks very cool.
So.
And these are just blanks that you're making?
Yeah, well, actually, I hooked up with a guy in the neighborhood who's actually shaping his own boards.
Fun.
So we'll do both. We'll do some blanks and some of his hand shaped ones. So.
Oh, cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Anything else coming up, Derek?
Well, I'm still actually making art, which is important. I have a semi-secret studio across US 1 over there, next to CrossFit. But the last couple of months, I've got some commissions to close out. Something cool, big that will be unveiled for Health First.
Cool.
A big piece. I just finished something for Disney that was cool for an internal team of theirs. And I'm in a new gallery, new for me anyway, down in, where's that? Palm Beach Gardens. They only like giant art. They called my 4-foot pieces small.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, all right, okay. We need large, new large, new definition of large.
So Derek has this habit of saying, Steve, I need you to make something for me. And he'll be like, well, what is it, Derek? Well, it's a 30-foot by 12-foot wall. And I'm like, okay.
It's not a thing. That's a room.
That's
It's a house.
So everything seems to get bigger and bigger nowadays.
Dream big, right? We need to get a hard hat, socks and a hard hat for Steve.
So check out the socials, Derek Gores Gallery.
Yeah, there's Derek Gores. That's kind of my artwork. Derek Gores Gallery I use to kind of include local scene elements or shows that involve other people than me. And then certainly Dreamland Mini-Golf on Instagram and Facebook for sure. Create Your World Art Camp has its own stuff now too. We're getting more real, more dedicated, more Googleable and all that.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, for this, more spreadsheet friendly and everything.
Excellent. And then Toxic Roots.
Yep, My Toxic Roots on social media, toxicroots.com. And then what's Charlie's?
Downtown Charlie Brown, 2007.
Yeah.
Does anybody know who that name's after on MTV?
Downtown Julie Brown.
There you go.
So, okay, I'll tell another story. So we're writing a song, and it's in the key of D, and we didn't know what to call it. So we had D up on the board, and then someone wrote Downtown, and then it was Downtown Julie Brown, and now it was like DJB on our album. We actually called it Downtown Julie Brown. That's funny. Excellent.
Hey, Steve, can I ask you? Can you give us an anecdote about your car? I like watching your car pull up, always symmetrical to the door of Dreamland. Look out the door. Is it a Lincoln?
It's a Lincoln Town Car,
Very good.
2001, I think.
Brilliant.
I'm usually hauling a trailer with it, which people like to take pictures because they think it's hilarious that it's a Lincoln Town Car.
And what's up with the trunk?
The actuator that pulls it down automatic, because it latches and then it's supposed to pull down. The actuator broke. I need to fix that. It's a 2001 Lincoln Town Car.
You could fix it, or we could make some stuff poking out of the sides.
I
don't whether it's like it could be amp cords or something.
Right.
Hey, he's a busy man with music business to do.
I'm at this this part with my car right now of at what point do I start fixing things and at what point do I just run it into the ground?
Well, my dad loved big cars. He had the Lincoln, and I got pulled over as a teenager because the automatic headlight thing was not turning off, so I was blinding people, and I got a ticket for that. I thought when I explained that surely I was getting out of the ticket. No, I got the ticket.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the Lincoln is becoming a story around town, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, but you should check out what's in his garage. That's
Yeah.
even better. So.
Oh, yeah? What's
yeah,
in the garage?
75 Monte Carlo.
Oh, fun. Wow.
Yeah, just needs a little bit of attention, but it'll be on the road this year.
Okay.
And my '88 Harley Davidson. But,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Some stories there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. It's a good time at the Spencer household. Yeah. So we're going to finish up here. Again, want to thank Derek, Steve, and Rachel for coming out today. Check out the Harbor City socials, Facebook and Instagram. Also, give the Punk in the Park Instagram a like. Got a lot of great information coming out there. We're making band announcements. If you missed it, we have historic, amazing punk legends TSOL headlining our Punk in the Park this year. We're going to be bringing out the Goat Ramp half pipe with some professional skaters doing some tricks. BMX Trick Stars is looking to come out and do some BMX tricks. Food trucks, vendors. It's going to be a great day, June 11th. And then just stay tuned for a lot of other Harbor City events coming up. And again, while we do promote, a lot of entertainment and art and music as necessary to our culture, a lot of what we do goes towards education. And so we are working on scholarship programs and connecting with the community in a lot of different ways. You can hit up our Square site if you want to donate, or if you have an instrument that you're not using anymore, hit us up and we'll try to get it into the hands of a kiddo that can't afford it. If you want partnerships or sponsorships for any of our events, hit us up. And again, Punk in the Park coming up, where you still have some room for vendors and sponsors. But for Harbor City Local, Derek Gores, Dreamland, Toxic Roots, and Space Coast Podcast, we'll see you next time. And we're going to take you out here with a little Paging Mr. Herman.
With all that hate, not great. And how does it feel that this became your fate today? The anger you hold will only bring you down. I learned to let it go and I'm feeling so much better now. All this emotion is nothing to write home about. But last time changed my mind. I'm better now. But it still seems to have me in a hole that won't let me go, and the people